say thank you to everyone for joining us. So we always like to do something fun. I want to ask that we please turn on our videos if you can, so that we can see our faces basically and do something fun. Can we switch up the energy? Turn on your videos if you can. Let us switch up the energy as we start. If you can, again, I always plead that make sure that you are appropriately dressed when you are turning on your video. Yes. All right. I can see our beautiful and fine faces, our organic faces. Our faces are all looking beautiful. Our faces are looking radiant. And let me see. Do we have more people turning on their videos? Let's see. Yeah, I love the smile, Madam Helen. Good to finally see you.
Good to finally see you too.
Okay. Should I start mentioning names? I hope that would be fair. But okay, so I'm taking a screenshot of our beautiful faces. I hope we're smiling. Okay, so let's do something fun. While your camera is still on, what's the first thing you can find around you? What is the first thing that you can find around you? That if you stretch your hand at something, you just see something, whatever it is, pick it up and show us in the camera. Pen, okay. Let's see who else has something that they can quickly show us. What's the first thing that you can find around you? Where's the first thing? Water, yes. Again, cup from Dorothy. Yes, who else? Let's see. I think Dr. Jude had pen, cup, okay, bottle from Barrister Sowemimo. Let's see who else again. Yes, okay. So that was just to help us relax. Okay, what's the second thing you can find? Just look around you. Scissors. Ha, Madam Ellen, are you a tailor? What's the second thing you can find? Okay, a notepad, scissors too. What are farmers doing with scissors? I don't understand.
Cutting.
A phone, yes. Okay, I think mine is also a phone. Who else again? What's the second thing? Still water for Barrister Sowemimo. Okay. Let's see. What's this? Grass. Okay, a farmer. We agree. Madam Josephine is a farmer. Yes, I can see grass.
I love
the laptop. Okay, let's see.
I'm adding value to the
what's the third thing you can find closest to you that just stretch of your hand? You see it on your table or around you. What's the third thing?
I'm adding value to the rosemary. Yeah.
That's it. What's that? What's that?
Rosemary.
It looks like a fork. It looks like a fork, Abby. Notebook.
A garden fork.
I think mine will be my phone. Fork. Not my phone. My mouse. Yes, mouse for my laptop. Let's see again. Okay, I think that's good. So thank you so much. I just had to do that as an icebreaker to welcome us and switch up the energy just a bit into the webinar. Thank you so much for joining. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? We don't clap for ourselves, really. So let's clap for ourselves. Everybody's asking us to clap for ourselves. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for being a part of this. Okay, so we can turn off our videos now. We will just go straight in. I would like to invite our country coordinator in person of Dr. Jude COB to take the opening address.
Again, okay, I really have to do that. Good morning, everyone in West Africa, and it should be good afternoon in East Africa. You are all welcome to this last edition of our month of March webinar celebrating wonderful creation of God, the source of life, the source of strength, the source of encouragement, the major support, and most importantly, the dominant participants in the food system, both in production, processing, and nourishment. We can't have enough word to describe women and the role they play in our lives and in the world. You know, I recognize those that are here, Barrister Sowemimo, those that are from in Nigeria. I recognize Mrs. Majolagbe. I recognize Dr. Ogechi and Lynette. These are the four wonderful women that will close the event for us. Actually, in Noan, we do it every month. We go out to get special people that will support the farmers in different ways, because as we already know, established that organic agriculture is knowledge-based. It is not just that organic agriculture is knowledge-based. People outside the organic agriculture are threatening the participants of organic agriculture because they see us as threat. They see that we are coming to take those things they are stealing from us, that we are coming to take them back. So they do everything to annihilate us, if I should use that word. So the best thing we can do is to come together, support each other so that we can win this fight. I say again, we must win this fight, because even those that are fighting us, they know that organic agriculture is the way to go, both in protection of the environment and health. But they don't want to accept it and will continue to move on. So I thank everybody for coming. I'm grateful that you have been here. And as the moderator said, some people have been around participating from the beginning, from the 8th of March till now. We are grateful that you have done that. And we know that you continue to support. You have seen that this is a monthly event. So when that of April comes, we'll still publicize it in a good way so that all of us will continue to come together to do this. So I welcome you as we celebrate women. And interestingly, I noticed that even the participation is dominated by women, but it doesn't matter. In this kind of things, you see women exercise their strength. So thank you very much for coming. Most importantly, let us listen and gain from the experience, because these women that we have brought out here, it is not that they are different or they are stronger, but it must have to be one person. And these are the people. They have found a niche in organic agriculture and they have seen an opportunity. They are taking advantage of it. So let us listen to them. If we are doing something great, let us add more to it. If we are still looking for a place to occupy, you can interact, think more, act more, look for opportunities to be able to occupy your space. Because what we are doing is that you must identify a gap, you must identify a need for the society, go into it, provide our services, and most importantly, occupy it and take over. Because we must note, by the time we identify it and start establishing, people will see it and want to contest with us. So it is not only that we see and we are developing it, we must occupy it and take charge. Thank you very much as we listen to these great women. Welcome and good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are calling from. Over to you, moderator.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We welcome us once again. So permit me to quickly just do a 30 seconds review of one or two of our past webinars so that we are picking the lessons and we're learning from it. So I'll just start, and it's okay to fail when you're doing organic agriculture. You're going to have some challenges and it's okay to fail, but don't give up. My Nigerians will say among the younger generations, if you give up, you have lost. Document your journey, document your process for you to improve upon it, and pay attention to communities. And if you're going to be in process, so you cannot stop learning yourself, and you have to join communities. And we have adopted here in Nigeria, it's the fact that organic is life. Processing things in organic agriculture. Into the profile of our speakers for today, our panelist file. So I will start with Lynette. Lynette Nakidde. Can you please turn on your video so that we see you while I read your profile? Okay, so I particularly like that she is a young person. So see, and she's already showing the organic lifestyle. Organic is life. Okay, so I'll read. Lynette Nakidde is dedicated to pioneering sustainable agricultural practices through her role as a founder of the Biofertilizer Center for Youth Empowerment and extension worker at St. Jude's Family Projects. Her career is marked by initiatives aimed at leveraging organic methods to positively impact both government and communities. At the Biofertilizer Center, she spearheads efforts to develop and promote biofertilizers as a sustainable alternative to chemical fertilizers, empowering young individuals with the knowledge and skills for their production and utilization. Additionally, Lynette works as an extension worker, collaborating with local communities to implement organic farming techniques, emphasizing soil health, biodiversity, and ecosystem resilience. A commitment to organic agriculture reflects a belief in its ability to create a more sustainable and equitable future, driving our effort to catalyzing positive change in agricultural practices. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Lynette Akide. Can we give her a round of applause in the chat box? Thank you, Lynette. So our next profile is going to be that of Dr. Ogechi. Dr. Ogechi, can you please turn on your camera while we read your profile? Please give her, those of us from East Africa, you should be hype Lynette though, or you should not be sharing our knowledge with people again. So hype her, thank you so much. Let's show her love. Okay, so we'll go to the profile of Dr. Ogechi Umeh. Dr. Ogechi Umeh is a lecturer at the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture in Nigeria, specializing in rural sociology and extension. With a doctoral degree focusing on agricultural extension and administration, she serves as a farmer field school and organic agriculture master trainer, actively engaging in research programs related to extension, organic farming, and rural development. Dr. Umeh's expertise extends to communication skills, public relations, scientific writings, reflecting a dedication to knowledge dissemination. She's passionate about empowering youth and rural farmers, women farmers, and she has formed numerous women groups and cooperative societies. She has contributed to over 70 publications and serves as an editorial board member for reputable journals. She is also known to have created the OSFP, which is the potato juices that have been recreated to several other products. She will tell us more about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Dr. Ogechi Umeh a round of applause. Let's give her some round of applause, some claps in the chat box. All right, Ma, thank you so much. Our next profile will be that of Mrs. Abimbola Majolagbe. Can you please turn on your camera, Ma? Let me see. Sorry, please just give me a minute. Okay. All right. Abimbola Majolagbe is a media advocate, and she started a journey into extension services and delivery, working with farmers and committed to farmers' activity. During her years of promoting farmers, especially through the regular radio program Feeding the Nation, she became more resilient in exploring better approaches to mitigate against the gap of food production system and as a result of climate change. She is an ambassador of Grow Your Food campaign, an initiative of IFAM, with the passion to build more organic agriculture farmers. She's the master trainer with Nuan Kesue, training and empowering other farmers, as well as one of the Farmer Field School coordinators. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we celebrate Abimbola Majolagbe. Let's put it in the chat box. Let's celebrate her. And I'd ask that Barrister Sowemimo would turn on our video. Yes, our video is on, so let me spotlight her. All right. So I always tell people that our speakers are people of timber and caliber. So okay, so now to Barrister Olusola Sowemimo, popularly known as Sisimi. She's popularly addressed as Sisimi. She's a versatile professional who juggles the distinctive responsibility of a lawyer, organic farmer, public speaker, etiquette, and business coach. She approaches her job in an holistic manner across these disciplines, hence having a broad skill set and the passion for making a positive influence. As an organic farmer, she's motivated by a strong desire to live healthy and sustainably, and becoming an organic farmer, practicing environmental care, growing awesome nutritious products while causing the least amount of environmental damage is our desire. Ladies and gentlemen, join me. Her profile is actually long, so I just summarized it. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's also I don't know if the exact title is a CEO. She's the founder. Yes, the word is founder. She's the founder of Okpe Farms Nigeria Limited. She has represented Nigeria. She's also known as the foremost organic agriculture practitioner, and she has represented Nigeria on several international platforms. Also, she is a member of the steering committee of the KCA project in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we give virtual applause. Virtual applause. Virtual applause. You're waiting for, okay, you see Barrister, sorry, remember, they're waiting for you in Togo. People will talk about that one later. All right, thank you so much, Ma. You see, we have powerhouses, a lot of powerhouses. I hope we have our pens. So we are going into the panel discussion now. I hope we have our pens and we're ready to take notes. Yes, please show them love. Give them reactions in the chat box. Show them some love in the chat box. And let's go straight into the question. So I'm starting with Mrs. Majolagbe. You know, one of the beautiful things about Mrs. Majolagbe is the fact that she also works in media. So she will be sharing some of that experience with us today. I know I tell people that the diversity of our panelists is Mrs. Majolagbe works in traditional media, so to say, while we have Barrister Sowemimo owning it on social media. So you are going to learn. I hope you're ready to learn. Please put it in the chat box. Let me see more energy in the chat box. So we'll start with Mrs. Majolagbe just about now. Let me see our energy in the chat box. So, and I think that since today is the last day of the webinar, we should probably dance before we end this webinar, hopefully. So let's go straight in. We are still celebrating ourselves. It's Women's Month. So, Mrs. Majolagbe, your journey into the organic agriculture world involved working closely with farmers, particularly through extension services and training programs. Could you share some specific experience or success story where your efforts in disseminating
the line is actually breaking. Can you hear me all?
Okay, now I can hear you. Please go ahead,
okay.
Ma.
Okay. Hello there, everyone. A special recognition to all the KCOA team, both in East and West Africa, and most importantly to the KCOA team here in Nigeria, especially the country coordinator who has put this webinar series for us to recognize the women in agriculture, in organic agriculture, and then celebrating the women internationally. Thank you so much. For me, the extension service delivery is a life wire. It is my joy and passion that I've done over the years to create that positive impact in the lives of farmers. You know, in extension service delivery, we use tools for our farmers because that is how we'll be able to engage them when they face challenges. In Lagos State, for example, we have over 179,000 crop farmers, over 50,000 livestock farmers. And so the work of the extension agent is to disseminate unified technical messages. When I say unified, we're expected to groom ourselves, both for the crop farmers, for the livestock, the fisheries farmers, the processors, the women in agriculture, as well as artisanal farmers. So the training and visits come to play when we disseminate this information to see what are the challenges our farmers are facing and how we can mitigate the challenges. For me, the organic agriculture is not it is not a new thing, because we know that we've been practicing it for a long time. But over time, our farmers started cutting corners. They want to get quick money. So they engage in all these sharp practices that have eventually degraded the soil. They have actually affected the ecosystem. There is no biodiversity in their production system, and they are facing a lot of problems and challenges. So the introduction or rebranding and advocating the organic agriculture couldn't really come at a better time. And so our farmers are clamoring for a better change. And this comes to play when we now decide to use the extension tools. And part of the effective tools that we normally use for our farmers is what we call SPAT, the small plot adoption technique. The farmers' practice will be there, and then you engage them in the new technology. It could be the composting, it could be the green manuring, it could be the use of neem or other endogenous method. What we only do is the farmers' practice will lie side by side with the introduction of the technology that you're giving to them. And what our farmers want is this going to work for them? And when it works for them, you can be rest assured that they are going to adopt the message. And this goes into diffusion, where this message diffuses into a larger group of farmers. So for me, the crop farming activity is bubbling in Lagos State. And when I say about over 179,000 crop farmers, we have been able to train them. And I can categorically tell you that we have about 40 to 45% that have imbibed the natural system of farming, because they know that it is less costlier. They're able to generate their own farm resources by themselves. I know that it could be better, but we are still clamoring, and we still engage them from time to time through the advisory services. When we talk about the livestock farmers, we have about 50,000 farmers here we are talking about. And in poultry production, we tell them that we don't want them to use the antibiotics. We don't want them to use the normal vaccines, which is possible and is effective. It's just for them to know. So in livestock farming, we call it CHILAT. It's a small holding adaptive research where we engage the farmer to know that, look, organic agriculture is about prevention. Once your poultry birds can go through the process of, having this immunity against any disease, they can be productive. And so we engage them in herbs, like the golden melon, so many other herbs that are beneficial to the system of the poultry birds. And they live, healthier, and the meat is more tastier. And so in all, we have about, say, between 50% to 20% of the livestock farmers that are growing their poultry birds naturally. And it can also be better, because for extension message, it is a life wire between the extension officer and the farmer. And every time we clamor that this you can do, and you can do it better. And once they do and they learn, they're able to engage other farmers through this practice, and they engage themselves in everyday activity. And then we also clamor for mixed farming. Mixed farming is when you have the fish production. The water of the fish can be beneficial to the vegetables. And then when you have the livestock, the manure from the livestock, the vertebrates can also be engaged. When you cure them very well, you can then introduce it. So this in turn will improve the structure of the soil, increase the nutrients, reduce leaching of the nutrients. And so engaging extension services delivery is a key to the farmer. And because extension service is a school that you don't graduate from. And I'm still learning and relearning. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ma. That was exhaustive, And the fact that you mentioned training 5,000 livestock farmers, that's a lot. Well done, Ma. I hope we are learning and we're picking from there. So our next question for our next panelist will be to Nakidde. Lynette, Lynette, can we have you? So Lynette has when I read her profile, I hope you got the part where I talked about the fact that she's into biofertilizers. So your dedication, Lynette, your dedication to pioneering sustainable agricultural practices, particularly through biofertilizers, is impressive. Could you share the story of how you started and what the journey has been so far?
Okay. Thank you so much, Hepzibah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I founded the Biofertilizer Center for Youth Empowerment in 2020, and I was in my second year of the university. But through volunteering as an extension worker at St. Jude Family Projects, this is when I was doing community outreaches, and I noticed that most of the farmers extensively used artificial or synthetic products, especially the fertilizers. As a student by then, I was doing environmental science technology, and I knew how harmful this was to the not only to the environment but also to the farmers' lives. So I was so much invested in learning how to produce and apply the organic fertilizers and the pesticides, and I got into training for this. I then got an idea of how I can make it as a business. So I reached out to a few of my friends in the neighborhood, and we started making fertilizers. Especially, we started with Ogechi by then. So whenever I could go to the fields to do the trainings to the farmers, I could go with some fertilizers to sell the fertilizers to the farmers. So some young farmers in those communities were interested as well in making these fertilizers. And so I had to give them trainings, and we started doing this. So currently I work with more than 100 youths around the region. Some come from the neighborhood and others in the communities that we work. And I can supply, we do supply to agriculture stores and the farmers. We also sell to the farmers and also through the exhibitions. Some of the challenges that I face is lack of market. The market for organic is still low compared to the ones, the artificial products. And also the farmer mindset. We still have a long way to go in sensitizing farmers on the impacts of artificial inputs to their lives. Despite the quick results the farmers want from using the fertilizers, and they should mind what they use. I know they should mind what they use on their crops and how the effects of using artificial fertilizers, not only to the environment but also to their bodies, because when they consume these they consume the food that was sprayed with artificial fertilizer, it impacts their lives. So I've opened up different social media platforms. I have our website where we market our products, and we also participate in exhibitions. That's the solution that I've come up with for lack of market. Those are some of the challenges that we face.
Wow, thank you so much. I was actually taking notes. So some things, I hope we are taking notes. I hope we're learning from these people. One of the things that Lynette said that stood with me, she said she started at 200 level. That means you're not too young to start. And currently we're working with some young some students now to push for advocacy for organic agriculture. And for us, it's also a joy. It's a delight to know that these things are absolutely possible. They are absolutely possible. So I would and she also talked about using websites and subscription model. For me, that means that you can actually adopt technology into what you're doing. I mean, we're using technology now for even this Zoom call. So you can adopt technology into what you're doing in organic agriculture. It's possible. We can see it from these stories. So I would like to take Dr. Ogechi now. Dr. Ogechi, can you come on camera? All right, Ma. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the loves and encouragement in the chat box. Please let's keep them coming. Dr. Ogechi, your expertise as an organic farmer and lecturer at the Michael Okpara University um, of Agriculture positions you at the intersection of academic research and practical farming. So, how do you integrate your experiences in organic farming into your teaching approach? And what strategies do you employ to inspire the young generation, the next generation, and the young generation of farmers to embrace organic agriculture?
Okay, thank you so much, Hepzibah. I must say that I'm so happy to be here, interacting with all these wonderful women as panelists. Thank you so much. In NOAM, there's a slogan we use. We say that organic is life. Indeed, organic is life, because organic farming, organic agriculture has really influenced me in my choices for food, choices for a lot of things. In my experiences as a lecturer, organic farming has also influenced me a lot. You find out that as an organic farmer, I noticed that some of our farmers are very enthusiastic to enter into organic farming, but along the way, due to pressures of control of disease, control of pests, they are forced to go back to their conventional practice or start using some chemicals to control pests and disease. So as a lecturer, I took it up with my students to go into research to find out organic ways, organic methods of helping our farmers to control some of these diseases. So during in my academics, I ensure that I bring in my students. Currently, in each section, I ensure that about 50% of my students go into research in organic agriculture. They go into research, like currently, a student is working on proficiency, use of organic extracts. So she's working with a lot of farmers, sampling a lot of organic extracts, trying to find out the best way for them to use it, and the dosage, the quantity, and everything it entails for them to use it very, very students. I also incorporate hands-on practical demonstration with them, allowing the students to feel the organic techniques by themselves and helping them to get deeper understanding of organic agriculture. I also invite guest lecturers like renowned organic industrialists, processors. I invite them to talk to them and help them to gain more insights and arouse their interest into practicing organic agriculture. Presently, I also train them entrepreneurship skills in organic agriculture. I have about 10 of them now taking up entrepreneurial skills. They have passed out and they are doing very well with these skills, like a mushroom and processing, a lot of enterprises. Actually, mushroom was my first organic enterprise when I graduated as a master trainer in organic agriculture. And a lot of students have benefited from that skill. So I try to highly engage them to do well. And even the school authority are now taking up this organic practice by partnering with us to introduce it to other departments. I want to point out that the current process where the university system is being asked to upgrade their curriculum is that with joy, we find out that we are asked to develop a complete curriculum in organic agriculture and regenerative agriculture. In fact, it was 18 because right now we are to incorporate organic agriculture into agricultural curriculum so that they can start it from the onset and graduate with it.
Wow, that's really
then
beautiful.
A strategy size.
I would have to stop you there, Ma. That's really beautiful. I remember it was Dr. Sarah at one of the webinars that was saying that when she was going to start or pushing for organic agricultural policies, they fought her, but she stood, and that's the same thing we are seeing in Dr. Umeh's story of, moving forward, pushing against all odds and daring to stand, and then engaging people, young persons around you. And that's really beautiful. Well done, ma. Okay, for those requesting for the contacts of the speakers, you would get details of that in your emails. Once the replays are ready, we will post it and share. So our next question will be for Barrister Sowemimo. And we're putting her on the spotlight. Let me her on the spotlight. Okay, so I hope we are learning. Please continue to give reactions in the chat box. I use fire emojis. I love the energy. Please, well done. Okay, Barrister Olusola Sowemimo, your transition from corporates into organic agriculture is quite fascinating. Could you share some of the pivotal moments or experiences that led you to establish Umeh Farms Limited, and how your corporate background has influenced your approach to providing holistic solutions for organic agriculture?
So let me join the others and congratulate KCOA for this initiative. It's a beautiful one. And these are the kind of things some of us wish we had when we started. So my journey to organic agriculture was a very interesting one. In 2008, my mom had died of cancer of the colon. And before we knew it, she was stage 4. There was absolutely nothing that anybody could do about it. It took us by surprise because she had also been quite mindful about the kind of food she ate. At a time, she even grew some of the food she ate at home. But when my dad passed away, I think she lost interest and she didn't care that much. So I had the opportunity of going to my sister-in-law in the US. And while I was there, I got this email saying that there was a cancer control conference. Like the same cancer has a whole conference dedicated to it. I had to attend. And my sister-in-law was like, do you know the cost of the ticket? I said, don't worry. When I come back, there's free food in your house. I'll come and sit and enjoy myself till I go back to Nigeria. And that conference was, it was a turning point for me. We were over 1,000 participants, and about 80% of them were cancer survivors. That really tripped me. So I ran out, I went to get a recorder, and with the recorder, I was recording and interviewing them just as we're speaking here. And one of the things that I found in almost everybody I spoke with was the fact that they manage their health with the food they eat. So what is this food? Then they started telling me about organic food, how the food they eat is devoid of chemicals and antibiotics and all of those things. I must have interviewed about 40 people. And the same point, this organic food. There was even a young lady, she had had cancer twice. That it was that bad. And there were so many authors. There was an 18-year-old who said he had to run out from his family home because he needed the food, to treat himself. And the family didn't believe in it. They felt, no, you had to go for chemotherapy and all of that. Another thing that caught me was the fact that these women were bringing their food to the venue of the conference, not because they could not afford the food, but for them, traceability. That was my first time ever, 2008, of hearing that word traceability. What was it about? They said for them, they needed to know where the food came from. So they were not going to eat the food from the hotel. Wow. I got back to Nigeria. I was so excited. I said, yes, I'm going to start an organic farm. And guess what? Every other farmer I spoke with, even some friends will come and say, oh, they say you want to go into farming. My uncle is a farmer. Come and speak with him. Guess what? The minute I mention, oh, I want to do organic farming, they look at me like, you what? Don't waste your money. Don't do everything they could say to discourage me, they did. But for me, it's when you tell me something is not possible that I tell myself it means I'm possible. And that was how I started acquiring the land. Luckily enough, I had also met a young lady on social media, because I went to social media because I was having issues. I didn't understand. So I used to go there it was almost like my journal. So I would go there to talk about my frustrations. The day I do something right, I would go there and, hail myself and all of that. And I met this lady who told me that, oh, there's even an association called NOAN. I'm like, oh, really? And just about then they were going to have their conference. I now attended that conference, met so many different people. Now, what have my law done for me? Number one, you can't be a lawyer and not be a critical thinker. So it's always very helpful to be able to decipher what I wanted to do, how I wanted to achieve it. Even coming into the community, I'm among a community of about 2,000 villages. I knew there was no way I could do it without their support. So I approached FUNAB at the time. OAP team came and they held a session for them where they introduced them to organic. And that has really been helpful. So they have different names for my farm. Oh, that farm that doesn't use taku. Oh, that woman that, acts somehow, but it's okay. That is what you get when you're an organic farmer. You are either a mamalawo or something, and I'm happy with it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. That was quite an interesting story. And I know you summarized it. In the next panel session, you are going to talk a bit more about social media, because, I like that Lynette talked about using technology. You are also using social media. So there's so much to learn for all of us. We're going to have a quick break now. Let's go into the next panel session, the next round of questions for our panelists. We are doing so well. I think this is my favorite episode right now because we are managing our time so well. Okay, so let's go into the next round of questions for our panelists and discussions. Please, again, put it in the chat box if you're getting value. I like that we're already engaging on the chat box. Let's put in more engagement. So I will start with Lynette, Miss Nakidde. So your extension work at St. Jude's, in your profile, I read that you work with St. Jude's project as an extension worker. So your extension work as an extension worker at St. Jude's Family Project, you focus on implementing organic farming techniques. Can you elaborate on some specific examples of how you are implementing organic agricultural practices? What are those things? I'd like you to talk about it in relation to composting, the biofertilizer or fertilizer production, and natural pest management. You have the floor. You are muted. Please unmute. Okay, all right. It's fine. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I was saying, for composting that does not require so much resources to do it. It is generally converting degradable products like dry leaves, green leaves, and so I'll take you through how we do it, how I train it to the farmers, and we start by making a heap. You could also do it you could do your compost in a pit, layer it up with brown and green materials, starting with some stones to allow the drainage, and then a layer of brown followed by the green materials on top, and then a layer of manure and a thin layer of topsoil. You can repeat these layers. Oh my God, my background is noisy. I hope you still hear me well.
Yes, we still hear you. You could just be a little more louder, but other than that, you're good.
Okay. After the layer of the brown leaves and the green leaves, you then put a layer of manure and a thin layer of topsoil. You then repeat the layers, and don't forget to water, especially to the dry materials. You let the heap heat while covering it with either tarpaulin or leaves. We sometimes use banana leaves to keep the moisture in. Yeah, and then you add water whenever necessary. When it's too dry, you can notice it and then add water. and you have to turn it regularly for a few weeks. You dig it in, you dig the mixture and turn it until it gets dark brown and black or black with an earthly smell. It may take 2 months or 3 to a year, depending. And then you mix it in the soil. When it becomes dark brown or black, it's then ready to be mixed in the soil, and it's a good substitute to. It feeds the soil and makes it living. It gives life to the soil. And for the fertilizer, the bokashi one, it's the one I majorly do as business. It's also made from natural elements, natural materials like the poultry litter, the cow dung, the charcoal dust. It's a mixture of those natural elements, and it undergoes through the fermentation process to be ready for it. It takes a maximum of 15 days, 14 to 15 days. It's ready for use, and it's very effective, and it stays in the soil for a longer time. And the materials can be accessed easily. I mean, you can get, it's easy to get charcoal dust, soil, maize bran, and others. And for the natural pesticides, we usually look at the plant tea that is made out of tithonia, or some call it the wild sunflower, and we mix ash, the wood ash in it, and then and mix it with water. So they are basically the 3 materials, and it's a good pesticide. It acts as a pesticide, but also as a fertilizer at the same time. So those are the 3 elements that I managed to bring out. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. That's really good, but I need you to take it a bit more slowly on the part of the composting, the layering. Please talk again about the layering for the composting.
For the composting, if it's done on the ground, the heap.
Christy ti wá kú fún wa torí ẹ̀ ni ó ṣe ó jẹ́ kí a lè sùn dáadáa díẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Old Testament. Ó ní pé òun wá parẹ́.
We first just get the dry leaves, the dry grass or dry leaves, and then the green leaves. It can be green grass from the garden, and then we first make a layer of we put a rough surface. You can put like sticks or stones for easy drainage of the water, and like for giving it life. And then we put a layer of the brown leaves or brown materials first, and then a layer of the green materials on top of the brown ones, and then we put soil on that, up on the green layer, and then we water, and then we put manure. So we do repeat this process as we are watering until when the materials you have are done. And that's the heap. It can be any size you want as long as you have the materials. And then we let it heat while we cover it up with sometimes we use a tarpaulin, or sometimes we use the banana leaves to keep the moisture inside the heap. And then we add water while turning it whenever necessary. And then we dig it in also dig it in and turn it up to mix it up, to mix the materials up. And then it majorly takes 2 to 3 months to a year, depending on the bigger of the heap. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you so much. We already have some questions in the chat box, but once we are done with the session, we'll take the question. I think we have a question for you again, but when we come to that, thank you all so much. Please, let's continue to engage in the chat box. I would like to have Mrs. Abimbola now for the next question. So I'll just read your question. Your question. Mrs. Majolagbe, as a champion for organic agriculture and resilience building in the face of climate change, and then your involvement with initiatives like Feeding the Nation radio program, we know it has provided a platform for you to address critical issues in the food production system. how do you navigate the complexity of promoting sustainable agriculture practices like organic agriculture through the mass media channels? And what strategies have you found to be most effective in engaging and empowering farmers to adopt these practices? How easy has it been working with these farmers, and how have they been able to adopt it?
Thank you very much for that beautiful question. For me, I believe in the strong medium, which is the radio. The radio is a very strong medium. And I also want to give kudos to the Lagos State government, especially my ministry, the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture, for bringing the brilliant initiative of the radio program called Feeding the Nation, which is called Boluyo. It is a program that has been for over 20 years now and has grown in leaps and bounds. It is not only for the farmers in Lagos State, but we have people that call in out of Lagos, all over, out of the country, to actually benefit immensely from the trainings and the messages that we bring to the farmers. What we normally do on the program is to bring in subject matter specialists to be able to engage the farmers in any enterprise that are having challenges, and they nip it on. When this happens, it doesn't just stop there. What we do is we take it to the next level, because we know that our extension officers are all around the locations in the state. And so whenever they actually present a particular message to the farmers, it's now for the farmers to carry it out. And then the extension farmers will be able to aid, if it is a problem, a challenge in crop production, they'll be able to take up in form of spats, like I said, where the farmers practice will go hand in hand with the introduction, the technology that we are preferring. And if it is in form of the livestock problem, that could also go for chillat. The radio program is such that we are able to, go a step further, especially in this age and time where we are promoting urban agriculture in Lagos State now. We tell everybody to grow what they eat. Just grow. After you grow, the next level is for business, or just first grow. And in growing, we're able to take them through the journey of making sure that all their production system goes through the natural process, because that is the way that you can be able to promote food sustainability and food production in the state. No matter how small it is, once you clamor and advocate for a particular message, our farmers believe in us because they know that we visit them from time to time. And I don't joke with extensioners. And so when they hear this important message, they want to at least practice. So the farmers too, we also tell them, we have the radio listener, because most of these farmers, they stay in the villages. And so they will just come under the shade in the compound when the program is about to start, and then they enjoy. And then from the program, we also go live. We go for the radio live, where we do calling, and people will come out, they call from outside Nigeria, and they get fascinated. And so we have the English version as well, the Feeding the Nation, for those that don't understand Yoruba. And then very soon, we're actually going live on television, because Bolio it has a huge traffic in the States, and people clamor for it. And because of that, I've been able to get that space, that public space. They know me. Oh, that's Sister Bolio. And in turns, I've been able to use that strong medium to be able to capture other farmers in other value chain, not only for the farmers that we have in Lagos State, but other value chain actors. And I give kudos to KCOA and Noan for giving me that platform to operate, because in that turn, I've been able to do a lot of documentaries, using that my extension tool to be able to celebrate the African farmers, bring to them to the fore, let them know what they're doing. I've supported also farmers through an NGO approach, where we are able to train them for free and to be able to support them. So for me, the Feeding the Nation, the radio, is a very strong tool, is a medium tool that everywhere you go, you find it resonating inside of you. And so it has given a positive approach and a kudos to all our farmers. And I know that it can still be better, We're thinking for other avenues that we can reach out to them. But that in turn, using the radio is a strong tool for me and an extension service delivery for Lagos State. Thank you.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much. So, riding on that, I would like to bring Barrister Sowemimo up now, and I want her. I hope we're getting the diversity of our panelists. Someone can say, "Oh, I don't have money to go on radio. How do I go on radio?" And say, Miss Majolagbe has money now. She can go on radio. I like, she has sponsorship. I don't have sponsorship. How can I go on radio? I will bring Barrister Sowemimo to talk now to us. She's going to talk to us on how she has been able to build an online community of over 20,000 followers online, just using a smartphone, so that we will know that whatever aspect of media that you choose to go with, you can actually build a community, you can build a following, you can continue in the advocacy. So I'll write on that and ask Barrister Sowemimo to take the floor. Please go ahead, ma'am. And please also share strategies that you've used. Mrs. Majolagbe has shared the ones she's using, because I mean, for rural farmers. So that way we are creating the balance to say that whether the person is a rural farmer or is enlightened, we can reach them. So she has shared the one for rural farmers. Now Barrister Sowemimo will share the one that each and every one of us can use right or straight from our smartphones. Please go ahead, ma'am.
So I think
yes, social media. I stumbled onto it because I was getting to a point where I needed an outlet for what I was doing. Remember that all of what I had been doing was trial and error. I think at that time, probably YouTube was the only other way. And on YouTube at that time, people didn't give out so much, so you still had to figure it out all by yourself. So I then went, it was even a young niece-in-law who said, "Oh, Auntie, what are you doing now that you retired?" And I said, "Oh, I'm into organic farming." So what does that mean? And I told her everything. She said, "Oh, Auntie, you should be sharing this with other people on Instagram." I said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, you have to be on Instagram, tell them what you're doing, how you're doing it. When you succeed, share it. When you fail, share it. Don't go there thinking, oh, everything has to be rosy and nice." And that was it. It just gave me that outlet to be able to talk about what I was doing. And today, one of the things that gives me joy is the many people who come back and tell me things like, "Oh, you were the one that encouraged me to go into organic." I'm telling you, I'm always humbled at the sheer number of people who keep thanking me for that. But what I'd like to say to other farmers or practitioners right now is that social media is not the same when I started. Things have evolved. So you need to, first of all, ask yourself, why do you want to be on social media? Many people go on social media just because they want to sell. See, people are not going to buy if they don't trust you. And the only way they're going to trust you is when they know what you're up to. So you need to ask yourself, what niche do you want to push on social media? You can't just get there today and start saying, "Oh, come and buy this, come and buy that." They're asking themselves, who are you? Where are you coming from? So you need to be intentional, and then you even have to ask yourself, which of the social media platform works for you? You will find out that people have their own qualification. So many people will tell you things like, "Oh, the older ones are on Facebook, the younger ones are on Instagram." And, I tend to believe that. And then the highly professional people are on LinkedIn. So the way you're going to post, you can share the same post. You can share the same post on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. But guess what? You will have to tweak them to suit each person. So LinkedIn is more professional. You can go there and talk about what you do, but please don't go there and go and sell. First of all, just woo them, nurture them, let them believe in what you say you are holding on to. And then you also need to ask yourself, who is your audience? Who are the people who you want to be interested in what you're doing? I don't know if it's because I started on Instagram, but what I've found out, for instance, is that there's something on Instagram called insight. You need to watch your insight. There's a portion that when you click on, you will see the different things that drive Instagram. And one of those things is insight. Insight is almost the most important thing you need to know. Your insight will tell you the people who are listening to you from where. So you can say that, oh, maybe 40% of my followers are people who live in Lagos, maybe 30% are from Port Harcourt, maybe 10% are from Abuja. All of those, it matters, because then you know what kind of content you will put out to those kind of people. So for instance, I don't want to sell on Okpe Farm's page. In fact, recently, I have changed Okpe Farm's page to Olusola Sowemimo _ Okpe Farms, because I am now pushing my own identity. Okpe Farm has evolved, you know, and because people keep asking, how much is honey? How much is this? I then started Okpe Farm's Organic Mat. So when you get there, you know that Okpe Farms is out there to sell. So for people who want to follow you, give them enough content, give them material that will make them believe in you and trust you. Thank you.
All right, Ma, thank you so much. I hope we are learning. Please engage in the chat box. Let's know that we're getting value. So I want to tidy up two things. I want to marry two things together. Barrister Sowemimo talked about knowing your audience. And Mrs. Majolagbe talked about that. Because she knows that her audience she's an extension worker, for instance. Again, there are different niches in organic agriculture. Because she knows that her audience are rural farmers, that informed the choice of media that she's using to reach them. So she's reaching them through radio. Radios are more affordable for them. In fact, they will gather in the evenings to be listening to radios. You'll find them even calling in into radio shows. That is what she has identified. And so she's meeting her target audience where they are. So as organic practitioners, even as business owners, it's important to know where your target audience is and meet them where they are. You don't have to necessarily, oh, they are doing Facebook, they are doing Instagram, they are doing YouTube. Don't jump around. Identify, the first thing is know who your target customer is. I tell people that if you do not know your target customer, you just be blinking in the dark. You'll be complaining and saying, my family and friends are not buying for me, blah, 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 but they are not your target audience. So know your target audience and meet them where they are. Meet them where they are, online or offline. All right, thank you, Ma. I would like to bring Dr. Ogechi now. Now, Dr. Ogechi has a very interesting story, because can I see our chat? Let's keep chatting. Let's add comments. Let's add comment. The things we are learning, let's put it there. So Dr. Ogechi has a very interesting story, because she moved from, okay, before I forget, we have a YouTube channel at Nuan KCOA. Please go to the YouTube channel, because we have several videos that we have, you know, our speakers, our facilitators have come. They've shared a lot of things there that you can just sit down and learn. It's a whole school on its own, and this replay would also be posted there. So please go there on YouTube. I'll try to get the address and put it in the chat box so that you can learn and improve your processes. Now there's no deficit, there's no deficit of knowledge, because people are sharing this knowledge. You just have to put in the work. So I would call Dr. Ogechi now, because she has a very interesting story, in that she used to be into conventional farming. So from conventional farming, she then moved to organic farming. I would like her to quickly walk us through our journey and walk us through our journey of transitioning from conventional farming to organic farming, and also talk about our sweet potato products and how she's making several products from producing other things from just one product. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you very much once again. My transition from a conventional farming to organic farming, I would say it's a dramatic one. It's a dramatic one because I'm a conventional farmer, but after my training as a master trainer in organic agriculture, I have to establish where do I start, what do I do? So when I approached the university authority to give us land for establishing our farm, wow, it's like there is scarcity of land everywhere. So after much disturbance, they were like, they took us to one vast area where, in fact, it's just the cattle that feed there. Nothing is happening there. They say, this woman, you are disturbing us. So you go there, take this 1 hectare and farm. Wow. I was like, what are we going to do here? Nothing is living there. So we brought in some soil analysts and they say, after looking at it, they say, madam, please go out from here. Nothing survives here. No crop survives here. There is nothing you can do here. And at that point, we are stuck with that place. And I sat down, have to think up everything we have studied, everything we have discussed about organic agriculture. I told my team, we will start. Let us try to heal this land. Let us try to do something. I don't know what else to do. We started. We used all organic amendments we can. We started composting. We dig some holes in that hectare, that plot, and started composting, adding a lot of organic amendments, producing our biochar, producing our leaf extracts, applying a lot of things and planting. And there is one particular thing that helped us: mulching, cover cropping. When we tried dry grass, it didn't really too much work. We tried to use live mulch. And when we are trying to select the wheat we are going to use for live mulch, a word came: edible mulch. What is edible mulch? Using mulching materials that are edible. In that edible mulch, we struck with potato. There are different cultivars of potato. We use OFSP, orange flesh sweet potato. We want to use it as a mulch to cover the soil. So when we planted it at a very close distance to mulch our soil, after the first planting season, to be sincere, we didn't really achieve much. But one thing is certain: the soil started changing texture. So in the next planting season, wow! In fact, everything we planted did excellently well, to the extent that when you come to that area, we call it PG school area, you will see about up to 20 hectares of land running at a stretch. When you look at it, only 1 hectare in the middle that is greenish, flourishing. Every other area around that our space is dry. And people were like, what is happening here? What magic is happening here? To the extent that the school authority, people were drawing. It was like a sightseeing. People were videoing it. People were snapping it. What's happened in this particular patch of land? So when people saw what we are doing, it was magnetic. They started calling us. We say, where is that organic doctor? Organic doctor, come here. That was how I became the organic doctor. So they will now start asking me, teach them our practice, teach them this, and people are healing their land. We call it a healing process. It was really a healing process. That was how we came up with that land. And from there, they started giving us other lands beside us, so that we can also help to reclaim the land. So it's a reclamation process. Now, coming back to this sweet potato, we find out something. With these organic practices, it was a bumper harvest. Come and see tons of orange flesh sweet potato. And our thought is, what can we do with this sweet potato? We now sat down and started thinking outside the box and started using those sweet potato we harvested to process into other products. Right now, it is our signature crop because we now produce OFSP juice. We turned it into juice. OFSP. In fact, it is a wonderful juice. We have gone to a lot of exhibition with it. We now produce, we turn part of it into flour. This flour, you can use it to bake. Instead of using some flours that are not too healthy, we now use this OFSP flour to bake. We use it to fry chin-chin. We use it to do swallow. We stir it for swallow. We have pondo, OFSP pondo, OFSP chips, and a lot of other products. But the main product we have there, which has been going viral everywhere, is our OFSP juice. We have gone to a lot of exhibitions with it. It is wonderful. See, our key word is practice organic agriculture and make money from it. That is why a lot of youths are being drawn to us, because we are not teaching them. It's not just that you are farming and seeing it as a drudgery, but we are not teaching it to them as an enterprise, something they can practice and still make enough money to the level they want from it. So it was a journey of reclamation of land. From there, we burst into this new outlet, and we have already also opened our organic market. It's a 2-weekly market where people come to buy organic products from us, like vegetables, OFSP products, gari, a lot of products from our farm. Even our farmers, we have taught, they also bring their own crops to that organic market. It's called Moayu Organic Markets, every 2 weekly.
Wow. Okay, so I'll have to cut you there because that's a lot. That's a lot. Please, can we give her some clap in the chat box? No, this is deserving of some clap. Now, one thing that let me see our reactions. So let's give her a lot of clap emojis, fire reactions, and all of that. Team, one thing all of them have said that is peculiar to everybody's story is they were willing to start alone, willing to start in the midst of all the
challenges.
The criticism. When she said they were called give you funny titles or funny names. I can imagine Bola being called people who just look for different names to just one name around organic or corn fertilizer. But the thing is, once you stay true to it, the results will always be there. So let's quickly do a short break, a short exercise. Turn on your videos if you can. Yes, turn on your videos if you can. We're going to send an email. Let's do word exercise. This time around, we'll just do small exercise. We should be done in about 40 minutes. We are about 30-40 minutes. We are still very much in time. So do we have our videos turned on? We're going to do some exercise. So bring your hands forward. Bring your hands forward and exercise it like this. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Are we doing that? To the front?
Yes.
To the front? I hope you can all see me. To the front. Now to the side. Pick the side. To the side. To the side. Are we exercising? The other side.
Yes.
Are we exercising? Now upwards. Are we exercising? I've seen it. Now can you go to your back? Turn it to the back. And the back. Hey, are we doing it? Are we doing now? Back to the front. Back to the front. Back to the front. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Some of us don't used to do exercise. This morning is the only exercise we do for this week. So give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. We hope you are getting value. You can turn off your videos again. Thank you so much. We hope you are getting value. Keep engaging in the chat box. I put the YouTube link there so you can watch and learn. There's so much to learn there. I promise you. We have tons of things that you can learn from there already. Okay, so we'll go to the last session and the last round of questions, and we will go forward from there. Okay, so I will start with, let me start again with Dr. Ogechi. But this time around, I'm going to reduce our time to 4 minutes now, or 3 minutes. So, Dr. Ogechi, you have over 70 publications and membership in numerous professional bodies. And you have demonstrated a strong commitment to contributing to academic and professional discourse around organic agriculture and agroecology. I know you have talked about how you work with the work that you have done in Michael Okara University, transforming it and making it the hub of organic agriculture in Nigeria. I want you to talk a bit more on what you do with the women. The women. I want to talk about what you do with the women. So I would. We were in Umudike some months ago, and something very interesting happened. Dr. Ogechi was the one planning that activity. Was one that planned the activity, and then we just saw these women farmers group, beautifully dressed, and they came and they started singing and dancing, and they had a lot of big harvests, like really big okra, big yam tubers, big harvests, you know, ripe and healthy looking plantains, a lot of them. And they were just entertaining us. And I was curious. I had to, as they said, she mentioned the farmers day. Said during the farmers day, that's how they attract people to their stand. So when they're at the market, they will start singing like gyration. They'll start singing, dancing, and people will start, that will draw people's attention to come to buy from them. So I want to get you to walk us through that journey, that success journey of working with this female women organic farmers group. What's the journey like, so that people can learn? The beauty is you can just pick your target market and do something. So you don't have any excuse, because everybody's showing us that. So over to you, ma.
Thank you very much, Sheziba. I'm glad you people really enjoyed our dancing steps that day. It was really, it was really fun. Actually, I work with youth, I work with women groups. You find out that when you are working with women groups, you simply have to be happy. They are a happy set of people. Just a little information, a little knowledge keeps them very, very happy. Especially when they are deriving value from what you are teaching them, it keeps them very, very happy. Now, I did a work with these women groups. This research work is a research work. And I told them that you are going to school now. You will learn how to speak correct English. You will learn a lot. And they were so happy following me. Now, the title of that work was Assessment of Farmers' Proficiency in the Use of Selected Organic Farming Practices in the Control of Mosaic Virus Diseases in Ipuano local government area. Now, when you come to that Ipuano area, you find out that this particular mosaic disease affects their crops. They farm a lot of household crops, vegetables, and this disease attacks it. And I was like, I want them to stop using chemical sprays. So I brought them together, incorporated them into that research, brought out a lot of organic treatments that I use, something like neem, jatropha, garlic, ginger, onion, a lot of organic products. And we started working with each and every one of them, one after the other. I wasn't working. I gave it to them to work by themselves. After all the processes, they are the one that carried out the research. They are the one that brought out the results. They are the one that told me, ma, this one is working very well. This one did perfectly well. They were so excited. They burst into that to the extent that they organized the day we are presenting that results. It was our field day. Brought wrapper, uniforms, and everything, and launched their what do I call it, music group that day. They were so excited and happy. That was how that dancing troupe was made. So that day they brought out all the different
crops they produce from that research work and presented to the community and told them by themselves how they came up with all these organic extras that they will be used. And they said bye-bye to using chemical insecticides and everything. It was really a powerful, we did all that, so, but this was a really breakthrough for us. Since then, we formed ourselves into a group. We are now registering our cooperative. In fact, we have registered our cooperative society, the Choice Multipurpose, the Choice Cooperative Society. In each market day, our organic market day, they come with their dancing too. They come with their products. After the dancing, do you know that people come from a lot of villages, a lot of communities in other states to come and watch them. After watching them, they sell all their products and they dance home happily with their money. In fact, I don't know, had it been, I would have got some maybe video shoots or that, but it was a very big breakthrough for us. It was a very big breakthrough. So with this, we found that these women are truths. They are steadfast. They are very, very convinced that they can now produce their crop without attachment. There is an added advantage. You know that these women with this cooperative, we are now producing biochar. Biochar is organic fertilizer produced. We have biochar in a liquid form, have biochar in a solid form. After selling their product, they also sell this biochar to people, and people are now using it. People are now coming to book for this biochar in bags, and they are selling this. So instead of buying bags of all these MPKs, people now buy bags of biochar, which they are now using to cultivate in our area. And we are trying to upscale and take it outside the state too, for others to see. So it was a powerful breakthrough for us with this women group. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's impressive. Well done, Ma. Right on that, I would like to bring Lynette online because she does something with girls. So Lynette, I want you to share what you do with girls. I'd also try and see if I can locate one of the videos of the dancing. Even our president, our country coordinator, he danced. When he saw the dance, he didn't have a choice, he danced. Even me, I danced. We all had to just fall in and dance, you know. So I'll bring Lynette to walk us through her journey. She's working with young girls. So I want you to share your effort and the things you're doing with young girls. Please go on, Ma. Please go on, Lynette.
Okay, thank you so much, Hepzibah. 70% of the youth that I work with are girls, and this is because I want to support the girls like I was once supported to a well-equipped and influential women. I have been mentored by very successful ladies in Uganda, in the country, and I've been my first mentor is the ED, the Executive Director of St. Jude Community Project, Madam Josephine Chiza. She's online. Thank you so much for the work you do with me. And I've taken part in different mentorship programs that I think have added a lot on me. And so I would want to share all these lessons and more that I've learned to the young ladies that I work with to impact their lives in a way. And I think you don't need to look far away if you want to make an impact on a girl child or on any other young person. It can be a boy. The neighborhood, I think if we work together, we have to, if we want to see a very good generation coming up, we have to support them. We have to support the young children. Not only women, but also like starting from down, still when they're still girls. So I would think if we can buy their products, if we can invest in them, if we can share opportunities to the girls to empower them, to like giving them support mentally or financially or economically, I think this can be good for them, and I think we can build a strong generation coming up. I have a quote that says, "A strong woman stands up for herself, but a stronger woman stands up for others." Thank you so much, Hepzibah.
right. So thank you so much for that. I'd like you to share just in 1 minute again on one of maybe a meeting day, how you meet with these girls. You go to their school. I'd like you to, or do you meet with them in a religious gathering? Just a bit more specific detail.
Okay, so the farmers that I work with, I want to clear up how I met these young children, these young people. It's not necessarily children. I work with high schoolers, the girls that are in high school and primary, the one that are like grown in mind. That and I met them through I work with their parents through the extension program. So when I go to the field and I the first work I do is work with their parents, but also some parents reach out or the children themselves reach out, and then we came together. So I still have opportunity for the ones that come in, but that's how I get them. So if they're interested, they join me, and then I train them. So normally, when they are in holidays, we like produce a lot and then store. For bokashi fertilizer, it has I would say a duration up to 6 months. It can be good until 6 months. So so when they're in holidays, we produce a lot. We store more. We produce, pack, and store, and wait for the orders and also supply. And then when they go back to school, then they do their studies until when they come back for the holidays. So that's how we work.
Wow, that's really impressive. So I'm saying this in front of everybody. Lynette, we will be needing you for, we'll be reaching out to you. We are grooming some undergraduate students.
Mm-hmm.
We are grooming some undergraduate students currently in organic agriculture. We just started the project, that part of the project. So we'll be reaching out to you to possibly address them and also share some tips. So I think I see a question here. Let me be sure if it's so okay. But I also need you to share with us rather quickly if there's
Mm-hmm.
any special technique you use in achieving success with working with these students. One, then two, was it easier for you? Was it easy for them like it was easy for you? And what's then your success story working with them? Like how many of them could you say, okay, maybe we have 20 of them that are into this now, or 30 of them? Please walk us through that quickly.
Okay. So one of the success we have registered is the most of my people that I work with can pay at least a quarter of them. We are in a rural setting. We are in Masaka, Central Uganda, but it's a rural area. So the most of them go to government schools. And the government schools do not charge a lot like private schools. So if we produce these fertilizers, we get some percentage that goes to their schools. It's not so much, but at least it covers for half of their quota or half of their tuition school fees. And also they do not have to ask for parents for requirements or personal needs like maybe pads or any other soap, whatever the school requirements are. So we assure that we can save some money that can do this. So I myself, in my third year, I finished campus last year, and in my third year, I could use some of my savings from this entity to pay for my fees. Not the whole percentage, but at least I could help my mom to some percentage of it. So, and also my transport to the campus. So this is how we are benefiting from this. But also the first key objective is to change the situation back home. Because our site where we produce from, we have vegetable gardens around, and all the agroecology practices I try to implement around, not only in the field that I train their parents, but it's a good idea that the parents know what to do as well as the children know what to do. So it's not the same as it's not only for the parents that we train as in our extension at the organization, but also the children come along with them, and it grows a good family of cooperative. Yeah, the outcomes are good.
Wow, thank you so much. Again, it's broad. The field is like large, so everybody can do something. Something. This advocacy thing is a group effort. Everyone can do something. You know, we have one of us that actually currently works with secondary schools, you know, just creating awareness and all of that. And see what she said. From that awareness, she started earning something for herself to support the family. That's really good. Please, Lynette, in the chat box, kindly drop the name of your mentor that you mentioned so that we can properly acknowledge her. I would invite Mrs. Majolagbe now. Now, I know that you work with a lot of farmers. I like Mrs. Majolagbe to share 3 pet peeves. So let me put some context to it. I was speaking with some business owners sometimes 2 weeks ago. I was invited to facilitate a session, and I was surprised that business owners do not even know how to keep record. And I'm wondering how you can be a business owner and you don't have an accounting record. I'm wondering how. Because in my head, I'm like, you should be able to tell us off the top of your head what your revenue is and all of that. You expect that people should know these things, but they do not know it. So I want Miss Matilagbe to share with us 3 pet peeves. 3 pet peeves, 3 things that she wishes, or from my experience working with farmers, she's always surprised at how come people don't know this thing. So I want her to share 3 of those things. Your people are already commenting so much in the chat box, you know, celebrating you. So well done, ma. Please go ahead, ma.
Okay, thank you, Hepzibah. You're doing fantastically well. God bless you. Yes, I think you read my mind. Record keeping. It's a big deal for the elite farmers, for the middle class farmers, for the less elite. Everybody is in this situation. And then you ask yourself, why is it that it becomes very difficult for farmers to keep records? Because sometimes they think they have a lot of things in their head. But when it comes to, you know, discussing about, for example, where we have support system, maybe there are some financial institutions that wants to, you know, engage the farmer and then support the farmer, and the farmer becomes, you know, they enter into a quagmire and they don't know how to sort themselves out. They don't even know if they're breaking even or not. And all those little details really matters. And so you find out that a lot of us, even the elite ones, don't keep records. But I'm glad that most of the trainings that we have through the extension system in Lagos State, we always put the focus record keeping, because record keeping is a very broad thing. It has to go with every little and minor detail, where you break down your production system, your fixed, your inputs, your running costs, all the things that you feel doesn't matter, really matter. Because that is when the farmer can be able to plan ahead, can be able to do budgets, can be able to know if that kind of particular enterprise is really favorable to that farmer or not. And right now, even in, we have a program that we're running in Lagos State. We call it Lagos State Food System, where we tell the people that come for the training that record keeping is very vital, because it makes them know where they are and where they can then improve themselves on. So that really gets me annoyed all the time when you see that farmers don't keep record. But I think they're trying. The second one that, you know, gets me astonished, the fact that when we talk about information gathering, you find that I see farmers think they know all, but they don't know all. It's so surprising to even see that the indigenous farmers, the local farmers, know something. But the thing that happens is the fact that people don't seek knowledge, and knowledge is out there. If you check a lot of things on YouTube, you will see that knowledge is key. People just decide that this is what they stick, you know, their knowledge in, whereas a lot of things are going on out there in the space. So you tend to encourage them, you tend to tell them, have you heard about this? And they say, it's strange. And then you keep on explaining and explaining to them. But for me, I still keep on hammering. I still keep on believing that what we are doing to engage the farmers from day-to-day activities will definitely change them. And another important thing that gets me, on the edge is a kind of attitude that some farmers have. Oh, this is how we've been doing it in those ages in our forefathers. I have some farmers here in one of a very big settlement in Lagos State here, that they have these particular vegetables that they grow, and they will tell people that this vegetable is what they used to send their children and their children to school. This is what they've used to graduate. There is no diversity in their production. And you get so annoyed that during the time of glut, when you price this particular vegetable, you can price it as low as 200, 500 naira. And you could be so amazing that how can they be treated like this? They don't want to look beyond the fact that they can get other quality products, value-added crops that they can grow when the time for, the glut comes for these vegetables. And so you wonder, why are farmers sometimes so static and rigid in their sense of reasoning? And each time I still tell them, it can be better. This is how to do things so that you can move from where you are now and, get to your success story. So those are one of the 3 things I think I can share with you.
All right, Ma, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Well done, well done. So riding on that, I always tell people that skill is never enough. Talent is never enough. You need to know the business of your skill, know the business of your talent. So if you have learned organic agriculture, organic farming, you need to know the business part of it. And that's one thing that most people are lagging on. So our final question for this session, we've come to the end. It's been so interesting that it's almost hard to believe that we have come close to the end. I would like to take Barrister Sowemimo. I think it was recently I was having a conversation with her, and she was telling me, I'm speaking with a coach now, and the person charged me 250,000 naira, and I'm going to pay the money. And that time she said, oh, someone charged me 100,000 naira. In fact, I had to beg my husband to give me some of the money. I'm going to pay for it. And then when she was talking about the cancer programs, if you listen, you'd have heard when she said the gate fee was much, that even as Tyler was saying, how are you going to say, don't worry, I will shall go. She's so vested in self-development and continuous development. I'd like you, Ma, to talk about that, because most people are always looking for free. And you can't continue to look for free and expect that you're going to have some result. You might not even, you might have result, but it might not be as fast. You will waste so much time. So as a sticker for continuous learning and self-development, I want you to kindly walk us through your self-development journey and how this has greatly influenced and impacted the growth of Okwe farms, specifically sharing 1 or 2 of such instances.
Thank you. I think anybody who is going into organic now has soft landing. When we started, there's some people, they might be on this call, and some might have been on the sessions before now. We went to places where, I remember there was a place where we went to train. I did not tell a single family member, and I was very fuzzy about the details to my husband because he would never have allowed me to go. You get to some of these places, the beds, in fact, you look at the mattress and you know that, what? You're better off putting your cloth on the floor and sleeping, because you don't want to leave the place with any skin infection. But thank goodness, we're now in the era where you can learn things by WhatsApp, you can do Zoom sessions. It's just incredible. And I think that is one of the things we have COVID to thank for, more or less, because it then allowed it. Another thing I would tell people, there is not, just like Mrs. Majolagbe said, there is knowledge out there. Yes, but for some level of knowledge, you've got to just pay for it. Have a bit of budget that would help you. I still paid 3,000 naira yesterday for somebody who wants to train us on something. Sometimes I tell myself, it's not number one, you need to assume that you don't know everything, and you will never know everything. Sometimes it is even something you know how to do, but by the time you go through it with another person, you see that, oh, it's even faster, or this is a quicker, or this is a better way of doing the same thing. So I don't fight shy when it comes to, I always tell myself, nobody is self-made. Somebody has contributed at some point in time or the other. My first opening was going to the organic conference in the World Organic Conference in India. I'm telling you, the family had to come together because I said, you know what, don't give me birthday present. Just come and chip into this fact that I want to go to India for the World Conference. And I would never forget, that was the turning point for my organic journey. Because somebody sits next to you and is telling you they're doing 1,000 hectares of onion, organic onion. And you're going, wow, in Nigeria, we're still, struggling. So every single training, every session that I've attended have been very useful. But I'll just zoom in on two of them. I think one of them was a session that KCOA held in Abeokuta. I've forgotten the name now, but it was a collation of the indigenous knowledge that we needed to brainstorm and talk about. That one gave me validation that most of the things I have been learning are working. Because once I go to any training, if I some at the training, I'll be calling the farm. You know that thing that is that go and bring it down. And that has been very helpful. The latest was the biofac that I attended. Yes, biofac was about organic food, but it was humbling. Apart from, I can't remember how many exhibitors, maybe about 1,800 or so, there was another place where there were over 1,000 organic products which are still about to come into the market. There was a particular company, they used 108 ingredients for all their products. And guess what? Each of the 108 were certified organic. So we must not settle for less in Nigeria. We can't keep helping people to say that organic cannot feed the world. The Nuremberg, where the session was held, 80% of their food there is organic. If others are doing it, why can't we? We must get to the, go deep down into the basic and be able to fathom. When Mrs. Majolagbe spoke about the farmers, the rural farmers, I'm privileged to have been a member of the Farmers Field School in Ibadan, thanks to Alhaji Oladapo, who I met. And do you know that every fortnight I was in Ibadan going to the farmers' school? You sit with a farmer who is telling you, madam, go and plant okra. Okra is good. You make your money and you harvest for long. I'm telling you, little things that you probably wouldn't even have given much attention to. So what I want to tell everyone, please do not give up because you think people are not going to accept what you are up to. Believe the fact that you are a great woman and behind you is also another great woman. Just seek for it, look for it. And life is give and take. Don't think you can keep taking from others. See what you two can give in reciprocity. Thank you.
Wow. Please, let's turn on our cameras. At this point, all our panelists have done so well. Please turn on your cameras. We are going to do a short something. Are we turning on our cameras? Let's do something rather short. Turn on your camera. We're going to celebrate all our panelists. So we're going to roll it. This one is going first to our panelists. If you can turn on your camera, but just make sure that your background and your outfit is okay. That one, I'm always emphasizing it. Okay. So now, roll it. Am I on spotlight? Let me make sure I'm on spotlight. But you can all see me. All right. So now let's roll it. Are we rolling it? Let's roll it. This network, you must cooperate. Okay, so let's roll it. Are we rolling? I can't see our video, so turn on your cameras, please. Yes, okay, I can see. Let's roll it. Are we rolling it? We're jamming it together for Lynette, Nakidde, for Barrister Sowemimo, for Mrs. Majolagbe and Dr. Ogechi. Are we rolling it? Are we rolling it now? Let's jam it together and give it to them. Thank you so much. That's been an amazing session. Like, it's 2 hours and I'm like, how? Now let's do one more rolling. Let's roll it. Give one for yourself. People like, don't do it well. Roll it. Are we rolling? Roll it. Jam it together and give it to yourself. Tell yourself, well done, myself. So thank you all so much for lending your voice to this and being a huge part of this. This has been really, really amazing. Thank you all so much. We are extremely grateful. Just before I hand over to our country coordinator, I'd like to invite Mrs. Josephine Kiza. I hope I got that. She's the country coordinator and I'm the mentor to Lynette. Are you still here, ma? I'm trying to look for her on the call. I know I saw her. I'm trying to look for her on the call. Is she still here?
I think she dropped off.
Hopefully, but she dropped off. Oh, okay. Send our love and our regards to her. Everyone here from East Africa and all over Africa, East and West Africa, all over the world. Thank you all so much for coming. So over to our country coordinator, sir. Sir, you are muted. Okay, all right, sir.
I'm excited. I just felt happy. Okay. Good afternoon, Southern Africa. They represented themselves here. Good afternoon, Eastern Africa. They had continuously participated. And good afternoon, West Africa, especially Nigeria. Good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, the world, because I know that people participated from all parts of the world, and emphasis is Africa. It has been a great event to have these wonderful women from the 8th to the 12th to today, 20th, to celebrate their greatness, their prowess, their escapades, their achievements, their breakthroughs. Now, something is important in all these. Now, I didn't notice them say that this happened because they are females. A lot happened because they are females, but they didn't capitalize it. They didn't see it as point of weakness. They actually saw it as point of strength. So I listened carefully right from the 8th to the 12th, listening to these successful women, and I didn't hear them say that their obstacles, what they are surmounting is as a result, they are females. We are not saying that it is not happening. That is actually the reason why we are doing this, because there is an intentional plan, plot to stop you. But you have come together with our support, say that you are unstoppable. You are really, really unstoppable, because without you, this component is incomplete. Without you, our food web will disappear. It is the rural women that does all this. And when we talk in Africa, I'm a soil scientist, and I still say, it is these rural people, it is this small
scientist. Okay.
It is the rural people, it is these smallholders that produce all our food. So whatever we think, we must support them. A majority of them are women. So thank you very much for coming. We are grateful for the support, for the number, for the patience, for the participation. And I want to say we are taking this fight a step further. We are looking at young people, because part of the problem we have is that we want a large number of people to produce at a time, but it is the older people that are producing. So is it possible for us to bring younger people to the production web? I know that it is possible. We must try something. So KSUA and NOAN is taking this a step further to start bringing up the young people. We will bring them up into a particular fold, start talking with them. Interestingly, the moderator have spoken to Lynette. Lynette, we are going to invite you because we are actually looking at young people seeing people that is as young as them doing it, and them seeing that they started it even when they were not supposed to start it, but they were brave enough to start. And at her age, now Lynette will be talking with a lot of experience, and you'll be wondering, where did those experience came? It is because she started early. So I thank you all for coming. I congratulate the women for their achievements, for their breakthroughs, for what they have done and what they will continue to do. And we will continue to support them. We continue to put them at the spotlight, and they will continue to achieve these great things. I thank everybody. I welcome you, and I invite you to April webinar. I think that one will be more explosive than what we have seen today. Have a great remaining part of the month. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like I promised before that, I will try and look for the video from Umudike, from Dr. Ogechi. So I think I was able to find one video. Let me attempt to play it. It's just about a minute, 2 minutes. So we can just watch that as we leave the call. Thank you all so much for coming. Remember that you are unstoppable, and everything you just need to think it. Once you think it, you can achieve it. Thank you for joining us. God bless us.
Thank you. We need their contact address, so their numbers.
Yes, ma. I will send it to us by email.
Okay, ma. God bless you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Including the recording, because
yes,
most of us could not connect in time.
Oh, all right. So apologies for that. We would all get an email before or by the end of this week or early next week, including all the replay of all the 3 sessions, so we can watch it on YouTube.
No, we will be very happy so that we can share it with other women farmers in the north to show them that they are lacking behind.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Yes, you would. Okay, Lady Organic, I would share contact with you. All right, thank you, everyone. And you just leave the Zoom room with this song, Unstoppable. Always remember you're unstoppable. Whatever you put in your mind, you will achieve it. Thank you. Thank you.